Blackhawk Rescue Mission 5. This game was mentioned to me in the comments on my last video, and you guys wanted me to check it out, so here we go. Released in March of 2019 by Platinum 5 and their team, creating and reimagining the original Platinum 5 military RP games on Roblox and turning it into a fully fleshed out open world milsim with one core objective: stopping the missile launch. The game also includes several PvP modes. There's a 25 vs 25 skirmish, 5v5 round based, and 2v2 round based. They seem to also have plans of making a zombie survival mode, but at the time of recording it isn't out just yet. Launching into the game, we're greeted with a main menu that is fairly simple, consisting of the game mode / server menu, loadout, shop, and settings tab. The loadout tab lets you change basically everything on your character, from hats to hair, vests to shirts, and more. The weapon customization is pretty decent, allowing you to add different magazines, scopes, muzzles, grips, and camos, all available at a cost that you earn through eliminating enemies, both in PvP and PvE modes. Before we get into the game, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Launching into the PvE mode first, we're greeted with two options to spawn into. There's Socrania City, which takes you to a mission outpost where you can change weapons, get missions, spawn cars, etc. Then there's the forward operating base that allows you to spawn different vehicles such as helicopters, and a workshop to upgrade your vehicles with turrets and more. At the time, I didn't know that this was where the main objective was, but we'll get into that later. Spawning into Socrania City, we see a question mark over this person's head, so we start talking to them and get a mission. I was tasked with going and picking up a new battery with the vehicle that was provided to me, so I hop in the car and start driving to my pickup location. Driving the cars is pretty simple, but they can get caught on some pretty small things, stopping you instantly most of the time. Once we picked up the trailer with the battery, on came the next issue: driving with the trailer. Trying to drive with the trailer attached was a task in itself. Every time you sped up or slowed down, the car would shake erratically and sometimes flip over, or lose control of the car and nearly spin off the road. After several minutes of driving, flipping over, turning the car back around, and repeating these over and over again, I finally reached the destination. Receiving a nice reward of $600, I decided to take a look and see what I can put onto my weapon. Upgrading with some new stuff and a new camo, I was really enjoying the game so far. However, it became even more confusing after I finished that mission, since the game didn't really tell you the game's core objective. I thought the main game was literally just fetch questing batteries, so I tried for another mission, only to be told that you can only do a mission every 6 hours. I was ready to give up hope, but I held out and decided to run some skirmish matches to see what the PvP was all about. 25 vs 25 matches were held on a large map with a lot of open spaces and some buildings near the center of a map for close range engagements. I was having a bit of trouble starting out, since trying to fight enemies with no scope and just iron sights was a little bit tough, especially for a new player. So I went to see if there was a scope available, and luckily for me, there was a 4x that was perfect for me. Once I had purchased and equipped it, I was actually able to start getting some kills. After around 40 minutes of playing skirmish, I tried to go into a 5v5 match just to see how it ran and if it was any good. However, after waiting not 3 minutes, not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, but 15 whole minutes, I gave up on searching for a match and went back into the main game. I was still wondering how the whole game actually worked, but I never actually spawned at the other location that was still available: forward operating base. Once I spawned in there, I went over to the question mark, and that's when I saw the board. It's just a board, but it was the only way to find out how to actually play and finish the main objective. On the board, there's several locations with numbers listed throughout. Places like Quarry, City, Outpost, and Depot were just some of the locations where you had to find intel. This intel gives your server information on where to find the bunker that is launching a missile. Once you collect all the intel, the bunker unlocks and you are given 30 minutes to defeat all the enemies and stop the launch. Now that I know my objective, I wasted no time in trying to find the intel, searching place after place in the hopes of being able to experience the bunker raid. After what felt like hours of trying to gather all the intel with everyone else doing the same, we finally unlocked it. I was racing to get to the bunker, doing everything I could to reach it before the time ran out. Unfortunately, I died trying to get to it, getting launched on something and shot by enemies. However, once I respawned, I was given a ride by a teammate and dropped off at the bunker. It was pretty interesting seeing everyone in their gear and armored vehicles, ready to take on the mission at hand. Once the bunker finally closed, it was game time. After not that much time of pushing around the bunker, I unfortunately ran out of ammo and died, unable to complete the mission. However, I wasn't going to give up there, so I waited the next day, got back on, and started grinding again. After getting some intel from a couple places, I found that I couldn't find any enemies to give intel, no matter how hard I tried. Everywhere I searched had basically nothing. So I did what any soldier would do. I waited. I sat in the briefing room, watching the meter slowly go up as I awaited my team to do all the work for me. Was it lazy? Yeah. Did I want to spend hours driving around and doing it? Not really, since I already tried it once. Once we finally opened up the bunker, we sat inside and waited for the mission to begin. Unfortunately, someone decided to bring a helicopter inside, so the footage you might see might be a little bit laggy. I had a good start, managing to keep most of my HP up and not use that much ammo. Once we got past the third door, that's where I started having issues. I ran close to out of ammo, was getting low on heals, and there was absolutely no ammo or med refills anywhere in the mission. After going through a random hallway, I was met with some pretty dangerous enemies, and unfortunately failed again. I made it farther than last time, but I still wanted to finish it. With my morale low, I decided to help out with the intel, grind a bit more, and do it one last time. I also decided to change up my weapon, opting to purchase a Scar H and mod that one to see if it would be any better than the M16 I was using before. After doing the intel, waiting for the bunker to open yet again, I begin my final attempt. This one will be a complete run through with no commentary, so just enjoy the chaos. That's right, you saw it here. After several hours of grinding, gathering intel, and failing, we finally managed to complete it, getting a pretty nice reward and a badge to go along with it. After all the pain and suffering, it finally paid off. After all that said and done though, how do I really feel about the game? Well, as always, here's the pros and cons from my experience through this game. The game models look really nice, mainly for weapons, vehicles, and gear. The overall environment is nice, even though it still sort of maintains that Roblox feel when it comes to things like foliage, player models, etc. The weapons are really easy to pick up and use, and feel pretty balanced overall. The weapon customization is really nice, offering some camos and a decent selection of attachments. The range of vehicles is amazing, and each one is really well detailed. The game is really fun and a nice grind up until you complete the bunker, but I'll get more on that in the cons section. The skirmish and other PvP modes are really fun and a nice arcade shooter, even though I didn't get to play the 5v5 or 2v2 modes. Getting money is fairly easy, and you can unlock some new weapons in a small amount of time if you get a lot of enemy kills. The vehicle driving can feel a bit clunky at times, especially when going through terrain or trying to go through certain obstacles that are just laying about the road. The lack of any hints or a tutorial was certainly a pain to deal with, especially with being a new player. It took a while before I actually figured out what to do. 6 hours for a new mission feels a little bit insane in my opinion, especially once you finish the bunker and don't really know what else to do in the game. Speaking of replayability, once you complete the bunker, it doesn't feel like you can do much anymore. Even though you could just keep grinding and doing the bunker over and over again, the replayability just feels lacking since the missile launch is the main mission and I'm pretty sure is meant to be the end of the overall mission. Overall, this game was really fun even though I was playing it solo, even if it were a little rough around the edges. I think it's a great game to play if you want a nice story, fun grind, and some roleplay aspects as well. I personally cannot wait for the zombies mode to come out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. If you have any other games you want me to try out, let me know down in the comments below. I've been Miko, and I'll catch you in the next video.